Welcome to SacTown Underground. I'm your host, Tiffany G.
And I'm Keith Jouganatos.
And do we have a fabulous show for you, starting off with our monthly calendar powered by Sacramento365.
We're also going to have an in-depth feature at the first ever Galt Balloon Festival, where tickets are sold out already, Tiffany, pre-orders, but you can still get some. We'll have more information on you later on in the show.
All right, we also have John Merriman. He is the Tuesday morning guitar song show host.
And after that, we will also have an inside look at InfoComm Part 3 from Las Vegas as we focus on with Nureva, a company that has been short in its existence, but so far is making some great technology strides with touchscreen.
And then, Keith, you have a wonderful sports piece you'll be bringing to us as well.
After that, in the sports piece, we'll have Brian Agee on. He's been doing woodwork for about 4+ years now, originally from Dixon, but now he's making his mark in Sacramento, California. Have more on Brian later on.
All right, and then we also have the group 220. Awesome performance for you coming up.
All right, so without any further ado, Tiffany, let's get this thing started on this episode of SacTown Underground.
Take it away. Don't miss any current events coming up. Stay tuned and view our calendar powered by Sacramento365.
And that was your calendar for this month of September, powered by Sacramento365. And Tiffany, a great slew of events coming up in the month of September. Hopefully, people in the great city of Sacramento get out there and enjoy themselves.
That's right. Don't miss out. You don't want to hear the words, tickets sold out.
For the first time ever in Galt, there was a balloon festival, and man, was it an occasion. Pre-tickets sold out before the festival even began, but they still had some on sale on hand of the festival on August 10th and 11th for $10, and our very own Sean Farmer went out there to get the scoop on the first ever Galt Balloon Festival as he went up and away. Take it away, Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean Farmer, and we're out here with Tony Gerling at the first annual Galt Hot Air Balloon Festival at the McFarland Ranch. Tony Gerling and her husband Dan have basically been the driving force between this whole event. They've been working on this for months. So Tony, tell us about how many balloons that flew and kind of what was going on over on the balloon field.
Okay, so we had a total of 8 balloons today. 2 of them stayed and offered tethered rides. 1 balloon stayed on the ground, inflated, and was our educational balloon. We had a pilot in that balloon that was educating the public on how balloons fly, whatever questions they had. And then 5 balloons flew away.
And so the balloons that flew, and the balloons, for those of you that aren't familiar with hot air ballooning, they were setting up before daylight today, and then they take off right around sunset because they can only fly when the temperature's a certain way. How many tickets do you think that we had sold total for the event?
I would say upwards of 3,000 tickets for both days.
So 3,000 tickets for both days, and this is the first year we've done this,
yes,
that the Chamber has put this on, and the Historical Society was gracious enough for us to use the beautiful McFarland Ranch on Orr Road, which has a beautiful venue, and they were able to let us use that for the balloons, and so we're hoping to do this every year. That's the plan, right? To try to continue next year?
That's the plan. And I'd also like to say that this wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. We had a tremendous support from the local businesses in town. We couldn't have done it without them. And also the volunteers that came out for the last 2 days who got up at who knows what time. I was up at 3 a.m. I don't know what time they were up, but we couldn't do this without all of their help.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. We had people from We had people from FFA, we had people from Boy Scouts, we had people from the Chamber, people from the Historical Society, Lions Club, and I know we have, so there's a lot of vendors out here. We have food trucks serving food. People are kind of moving from the balloon field over to the vendor area now that the balloons have kind of launched, and we have all sorts of local businesses and vendors. We have some candidates out here for running for offices and things like that. We have our DJ, we have all sorts of people. It's great. So there's not just balloons. I mean, that's mainly what people came for, but there's all kinds of other things to do, and it's just a great place. The temperature's nice right now.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'll be taking this sweater off in a few minutes, I'm sure.
So again, we want to thank everybody from Galt and from all the surrounding communities that came a long time for this event. We are very appreciative. The Chamber thanks you, and Galt thanks you for coming out, and hopefully we'll see a lot of you people again next year to come out, and hopefully we'll make it even better than it was this year. So thank you again, Tony, for all your hard work. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Sean Farmer signing off. Thanks for watching.
Wow, that balloon festival, Keith, was awesome.
Sure was.
I've
First
not
time.
seen anything like that.
First ones. They got only way to go up is from there.
All right, no way to go down, up, up, and away. And now we have our in-house guest, John Merriman. He is the television host on YouTube of Tuesday Morning Guitar Song.
Our next guest is based out of our city here in Sacramento, California. He is a guitar player, has a great show that's on YouTube. It's got over 40 episodes, currently transitioning through seasons, called Your Tuesday Morning Guitar Show, where he takes us back towards the history of rock and roll. I am right now standing to my right, Mr. John Merriman. John, how are you today?
I'm real good, Keith. How are you today?
Doing great. So let's get started. What got you in love with music, specifically the guitar? You were telling me in the break you've been playing since you were a little kid.
I've been playing since I've been very tiny. I was raised in Nebraska, in the panhandle of Nebraska, out in the prairie, and I became a soloist because there was nobody else around to play with. So I just started messing around with the guitar. I just had a natural love of it my whole life. And I became a soloist and an instrumentalist because I was all by myself out there in Nebraska, and it just seemed like something I could always fiddle around with. And then I moved to California, like all Nebraska people do, eventually, and started playing in Sacramento.
And here you are here in our Sacramento area all these years later. Let's talk about this show you have. Your Tuesday Morning Guitar Song. You take one song, you explain to your audience the backstory, the history of it, and then you go ahead and play it. What got you motivated to start this show of yours?
Well, it's a morning show. It's called Your Tuesday Morning Guitar Song. So I just wanted to do, I've been making YouTube videos for a long time, but I wanted to do a show, and I figured that I wanted to do a show that was for people who were just kind of getting up in the morning to start their day. So it's an upbeat show of history of an artist. And then I have what's called a fun fact, where I find some really goofy thing about this artist and present it as the fun fact of the day. And then I play the song instrumentally. And I just pretty much go through my favorite artists of all times. So it's something I just really love to do, love to share with people, love to share music this way. Plus, I love the history of it. I try to do all genres. I do rock and roll, I do country, I do jazz, and just play my favorite songs.
It seems like it's been going good for you indeed after all these episodes, and here you are with many more to go. So let's talk about where people can find this show. Where can they watch? Are there any social media handles you would like to plug and let them follow you on? That way they can get easier access to the show. Go ahead and tell us about it.
Sure. The best way to find it is to go to YouTube and search Your Tuesday Morning Guitar Song. Or you can go to Facebook and search Your Tuesday Morning Guitar Song. You can go to yourtuesdaymorningguitarsong.com. And that's one of those ways you'll find it. If you go to YouTube channel, that is, you'll see the list of the first season. There's about 40 episodes of the first season. They're all listed right there.
Okay, so for all you who didn't know, Your Tuesday Morning Guitar Song, you got about 40 episodes to catch up with the rest of us, and we'll do that as well. All right, so I know that you're going to play something for us today, as usual with our performances here on SacTown Underground. John, what are you going to play for us today?
Well, it's an old Willie Nelson song. It's called Crazy.
Okay, well, we'll hold you to it. Performing Crazy by Willie Nelson, this is John Merriman. Take it away, John. A great performance by John Merriman, an even greater interview with John Merriman from UTIF. That man is very, very talented, to say the least.
Yes, he is. And to have him right here in Sacramento and with us, what a blessing.
Blessing indeed.
What a musical and YouTube icon we have. John, thank you so much.
Sensational, John. And now we bring you our third installment of going to InfoComm 2018 out in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Caitlin sat down with the guys at Nureva, who are specializing, though they've only been in existence for a couple of years, are specializing right now currently in touchscreen boards. Take it away, Caitlin, and let's see what they've got for us.
Caitlin Ellis with SacTown Undergrad, and today I'm here with Adrian with Nureva. How are you doing?
I'm well, Caitlin. Thanks for having us.
So tell me a little bit about Nureva. Where are you guys from and how long have you been around?
Sure. So we're a fairly new company. We've been around for about 4 years. We're based out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and we're focused on bringing collaborative solutions in a totally new way.
Thank you. So what are you guys featuring this year at InfoComm?
So this year at InfoComm, we're talking about the Nureva wall, which is right behind us here. You can see my colleague Adam playing with it. It's a brand new product. It's a full 20 points of interactive capacitive touch on a solid-state projector. We're also talking about our SPAN Workspaces software, which helps people work together using standard tools like sticky notes and whiteboarding applications and things like that from anywhere in the world. We're also doing live demos of our of our HDL 300 audio product.
Can you tell our viewers anything coming up in the future for Nureva?
Absolutely. So for the special people who have been at the show, we've actually given them a preview of the next feature going into the SPAN Workspaces software, which is Follow Me. And what that does is it makes sure everybody is working on the same part of a problem, no matter where they happen to be. We're also talking about our intelligent sound targeting technology, which is going to be released later this year as part of our dual HDL 300 product shipping launch.
Thank you. And for our viewers that want to find out more, where can we find you?
Absolutely. So you can check us out at Nureva.com or follow us at Nureva Inc. on Twitter.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
I would just say make sure you follow us on Twitter. We're going to be making some real exciting announcements in the coming months, and I can't talk about them now, but if you follow us, you'll get them too. All right, so let me introduce you to the SPAN Workspaces software. SPAN Workspaces lets people work together collaboratively, both synchronously and asynchronously, by mimicking the analog world. You've got sticky notes, you've got sketch pads. People can work together both at the wall as well as from remote devices, and really what it lets people do is take their business process that they're already doing today and accelerate it, involve more people from more places, and make sure that everyone can work together and contribute from no matter where they are.
And now it's time for our sports piece with our very own Keith Jouganatos.
Before the dawn of the iPhone era, before some random Skittle life-size cutout was talking about how he was the king of New York and the best rapper alive today, before some 15-year-old girl went on Dr. Phil talking to the audience about catching her outside, I can remember a time where you actually had to be talented and had to organically build your brand into becoming a rock star and into transcending the modern world of fame. Last week, one of those people who organically did it his way and on his own terms went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. His name was Terrell Owens, better yet known as T.O., a.k.a. Get Your Popcorn Ready, a.k.a. They Love Me Some Me. It was a career for Owens marked by triumph and what others would call egotistical arrogance. Owens was one of the most gifted wide receivers of my era. There wasn't a route he couldn't run. His stats speak for themselves if you're just going to go off the stats. He was one of the most gifted athletes I have ever seen and have been blessed to come across and watching in my lifetime, and I've had a lot of them. Owens' career, on the other side, came into what some would call a dark, deep zone. He had the talent to do whatever he wanted on the football field. The gridiron was Terrell Owens' play stage. As William Shakespeare said it, the whole world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. And no one played harder and tougher and loved it more than T.O. He caught touchdown passes by the bunch. He celebrated. He did things on his own terms. And then there was the other side of Terrell Owens, who, for as much as he enjoyed catching footballs, often loved throwing people under the bus more often than not. He blamed quarterbacks. He blamed offensive coordinators. And he loved to blame head coaches for why he couldn't get the football every time. For Owens, the best game plan was to get him the ball every play. Damn the torpedoes, and damn the idea of spreading the football around or running it every now and then. If Terrell Owens thought he was open, he thought he was open. His career went like the Odyssey, from place to place to place. He threw Steve Mariucci and quarterback Jeff Garcia under the bus in San Francisco. He went to Philadelphia and played the Super Bowl on a broken leg. To quote the great T.O., I'm on half a leg and they can't stop me. And then he wanted his contract restructured. And when the Eagles paid Brian Westbrook, he wasn't too happy about that. So what did T.O. do? What T.O. does best. He threw Donovan McNabb under the bus for calling him out in the media, quote unquote. He argued with Brad Childress, the offensive coordinator, and eventually Andy Reid had no choice but to send him packing during the regular season. And then he landed in Dallas, where he proceeded to throw Tony Romo under the bus and imply that him and Jason Witten were more than close teammates. It wasn't even the fact that Owens had these theatrics involved. Everything Owens did was prime time. I can't underestimate how big of a rock star he was. There was the cheerleader pom-poms. There was the Sharpie. There was going to the middle of the star in Dallas Stadium because he was looking up to God who gave him the ability to play that way. It was the eagle on top of the ball, the Rocky statue. It was doing sit-ups in his front lawn while the media and the helicopters swirled about. Everything Terrell Owens did was prime time. He lived for the big moment. But somewhere along the line, Terrell Owens got way too in love with T.O., and Terrell Owens just became an afterthought. It took Owens 3 years, the third being this past summer, to finally get into the Hall of Fame. And like I said, his numbers speak for themselves. If we are a sports society that just goes off the numbers, then he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. And forget first ballot. The minute Owens retired, he should have been allowed into the Hall of Fame. However, it doesn't work that way. The Pro Football Hall of Fame members had some issues with how Owens carried himself throughout his career. So did the writers. And there was the whole conspiracy that Owens had been blackballed and left out on purpose. So Owens did in the final act of his career what T.O. does best. He had his own Hall of Fame ceremony 3 hours before the actual Hall of Fame ceremony in Canton, Ohio was supposed to take place. It's the biggest achievement an NFL player can get, to be enshrined in Canton, Ohio in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. To thank his coaches, his teammates, his other half, his family members who all got him there. The problem with T.O. is when you're such a big star and you're wanting the spotlight on you 24/7, how can there be any room for anyone else but Terrell Owens? I'm not here to say whether Terrell Owens was a good teammate, was a bad me-first kind of guy, was egotistical to the core. Everyone has their opinion. The body of work speaks for itself. It's a shame, though, however, that in the twilight of his career, Terrell Owens did not go into Canton. What a speech we could have been given. What insight? Would he have said sorry to Andy Reid? Thank Donovan. Who knows? What I do know is this. Before people could actually get famous with a click of a button, Before people could actually get recognized, before press and send, T.O. did it on his terms. He transcended life before the social media age, something so prehistoric no one would understand. So, what is there left to say? How will we know or remember what Terrell Owens was? Was he an egotistical jerk? Was he a me-first guy? Was he a guy who just wanted to win? Was he a guy who played the Super Bowl on a broken leg? Who knows? All I know is I don't think we're done yet with Terrell Owens. He might be retired from the NFL and in the Pro Football Hall of Fame now, but get your popcorn ready. I don't think he's done yet. Up next is a piece on a gentleman from Dixon, California, but now he's making his mark here in the city of Sacramento, California with his wood pieces. Brian Agee can make anything from wood and turn it into magic. Fine jewelry pieces to game sets for your living room. And Tiffany caught up with Brian Agee, whose beard is as impressive as his woodwork. Take it away, Tiffany.
Brian, tell us a little bit about what you have here, what you have on display.
Absolutely. So this is a sampling of my craft fair stock that I bring to every craft fair. I've got over here some wine stoppers that are hand turned with a variety of different woods, from curly maple over here to blackwood and even Cadillacs, which is known as the Mexican ebony.
That is beautiful.
I also have down here is a live edge. This is black walnut that comes out of the Sacramento walnut orchards that we have out here. I have some of my necklace pendants where I take different species of wood that are naturally colored and turn them into decorative necklaces and pendants.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I have a collection of different cheese boards and ingrain cutting boards.
Okay, and so you make all these custom pieces. Tell us, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how do they reach you? And you've got something going on with Facebook. You've got a couple different campaigns going on.
If people want to get a hold of me, it's arborvintage.com. They can find me on any of the social medias under Arbor Vintage. And right now, I've got a nationwide campaign that's going on with Facebook.
Wow.
They reached out to me a couple months ago. They're featuring several cities, including Sacramento, and they're featuring local small businesses, and mine just happened to be one of them that they chose. And so you might see my face somewhere online or on TV or on billboards right now with Facebook ads. And on September 8th, I believe, I'll have more details on my website when I get them. They're going to be doing a pop-up market where they're going to be featuring local woodworkers and local businesses within the Sacramento area.
Thank you for coming in studio
Pleasure.
today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Back to you.
Great work, Tiffany. Even better work by Brian Agee, who is still currently putting in work with all of his great wood pieces. Can't wait to see what he's got up next.
Can't wait to see either. I know who I'm going to when I make my own custom kitchen table. Don't get your regular pieces from the store when you can get them from Brian Agee. And now we have our very own favorite club band here that Keith is going to introduce you to. Keith, take it away with 220.
Joining me today in studio, they are a local club band from here in our great city of Sacramento, California. They specialize in rock hits and especially 90s and such and so on. This is 220, and I'm joined today by Jeff Whitehead. And Jeff, before we begin this interview, why don't we go around and introduce all of your fellow bandmates in this band?
Yeah. Got Brad back here on bass, Lance on drums, Amanda on lead vocals, and Billy over there on guitar. And that's it.
So you were talking to me earlier, Brad, about, Jeff, about this band had some twists and turns. You left for a while, came back, and entirely different group. What was the main thing in gaining chemistry when you came back and just making sure everyone was on the same page?
Just getting people that like to do the same thing, with the same mindset. Everybody's really chill. We get along really well, and we like to make music, and we have the same goals. So it's really important.
That's the name 220. That's an interesting name, and I would assume there's a great backstory behind it. You were sharing a little with me. Talk about how that name was formed.
Well, one of the founders was at Aerojet as a general contractor, and 220 is like electricity, so high energy. So that was where it kind of came from, and we just put the word in it, like Blink 182 kind of thing. So made it kind of 90s-ish.
All right, well, we're looking forward to hearing some of that high electricity. Now, Jeff, I want you to tell the folks at home and me right now, what are you guys going to play for us to start this off?
We're going to play Just a Girl by No Doubt to start it off.
Okay, Just a Girl by No Doubt. This is going to be great, and this is 220.
Take this been gripping off my eyes. I'm exposed, and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand. 'Cause I'm just a girl, I need a home bed. Well, don't let me out of your sight. Oh, I'm just a girl, I'm pretty, I'm 14. So don't let me have that big fight. Oh, I find it up to here. Moments that I step outside, so many